What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back here with another match preview. The Premier League is back this weekend and we welcome Burnley to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium Sunday, 2 o'clock kickoff, which is actually a really big game now. I mean, with the run that we've been on, with the run that they've been on, I mean, we just need to turn it around and we need to kickstart our season this weekend.
Some saying his job's riding on this game.
Do you think so? 'Cause I don't think so.
Well, if he loses, I don't know if he's not going to get sacked like after the game, but if he loses, I think that's another nail in the coffin.
I think that not this game alone, but maybe the next 3 games, 3 winnable games now. Burnley,
Well, look at the
Palace,
form we're
Fulham.
on the league with five losses in 6. If he loses to Burnley now as well, I think the knives will certainly be out for him. Regardless of how we play, I think if we do lose this game,
you're probably right, to be honest.
I think it's a big issue. And there are some outlets saying he had 4 jobs if he loses any of the next 4 games, including the Wolfsburger one on Thursday. Then Spurs are going to end up sacking him. And we need to definitely arrest this form. Obviously, I think Burnley are the type of opponent we need right now. Someone who's going to let us have the ball a bit. And maybe if we can get a few goals and breed some confidence, that could be good. But on the flip side, they could frustrate us. And like they've done a few top teams, like they did at Anfield not so long ago. Like they've on quite good form, especially away from home. So it's not going to be easy, but I feel like this kind of opponent, if we could get a few early goals, it could really breed the confidence in the squad.
How do you assess how Burnley have been this season? Because obviously they're only 6 points from the drop as it stands right now. They've picked up their form a bit recently, haven't they? I mean, they haven't lost in their last 4 games in the league. If they unbeaten against us, that makes it 5 without defeat. They went to Anfield a few weeks ago, got that win. How do you assess they've been this season?
Same old Burnley, I think.
Same old Burnley, yeah?
Yeah, pretty much. Nothing out of the ordinary. They haven't quite hit the heights of when they did a few years ago and they finished 7th to Europa League. But I don't think they're really in danger of going down or anything like that. They maybe at the beginning of the season people thought they were, but Burnley always get themselves out of trouble. They've got a great manager in Sean Dyche who knows how to motivate his players.
They're not out of trouble just yet.
They're not out of trouble, but I don't think they're going to...
Only 6 points at this stage is not that many points.
Yeah, I know, but I don't think they're going to be dragged into it. I think they've been on really good form of late. They always seem to pick up results when they really need it. When they're in a real bad rut of form, they always seem to pull a result out of the bag. And that's Burnley. That's what Sean Dyche has instilled in this squad. They got a great defensive resilience in that back line with especially the back 2 and the keeper and Ben Mee, Tarkowski and Pope, always so reliable, those 3 players for them. And they're going to be a tough nut to crack. They are going to be a tough nut to crack. On the flip side, if you do get an early goal against them, or if you take the lead in the first half, then it's very hard for them to come back into it. They need to keep the game tight and close and compact for a majority of the game to kind of get anything out of it.
When you look at it, actually, like their last 4 games, 1-1 against Brighton, 3-0 win away at Palace, 1-1 against Fulham and 0-0 against West Brom. So, I mean, against their kind of rivals, they're drawing or winning.
I watched their game against West Brom and they were horrendous.
That's what I'm saying.
They were horrendous.
I actually don't think that I think they've been worse this season than they have been the previous couple of years under Sean Dyche. And I think that when you look at their fixtures coming up, us, Leicester, Arsenal, Everton, Southampton, Wolves, all in a row now, I mean, they could be in trouble. They really could be in the next couple of weeks.
I mean, yeah, it depends what the other clubs do, but I think they'll have enough points to pull themselves out of the bag. I believe that. I think they're better than the teams below them in terms of how they set up and their organisation. I think they're stronger, and yeah, I'm sure they can easily even lose the next 5 games, and they'll still be safe in my opinion. So I think they always seem to pull away and pull a result out of the bag, and maybe they are a bit worse, but with Burnley, that's where they expect to be, between 15th and like 10th, like that kind of position. And they're 15th. I don't know where they finished last season. They probably finished around mid-table. So it's nothing out of the ordinary there. They've been awful. They were awful against West Brom. But then when at Anfield they played very well and they won 1-0. Yeah. And they had a very good performance in that game. I watched them against Fulham. They were by no means the worst team in that one. They battered Palace in that one 3-0 a few weeks ago, getting 2 goals in the first 5 minutes. So they're a team who's playing with a bit of confidence, I feel. Apart of obviously the West Brom game, they were terrible, and they should have lost even though West Brom had 10 men. But the fact they remain unbeaten and they got the clean sheet in the end probably means a lot to Sean Dyche, even though they got a draw when they were playing that badly. And it's not going to be easy, but we have to look. There's no any other result but 3 points in this one is an absolute disaster. Absolute disaster. We can't run away from that. But it's not going to be an easy game, especially how Burnley set up. We need to go into it on the front foot with confidence. We need to be a lot better than we were when we beat them 1-0 at Turf Moor. We need to have a better performance than that to get the win in this one. Because in that game it was very, very close, and we nicked it with a goal from a corner. And if we're gonna breed confidence and breed some momentum into this season, we need to win and win well. I feel we can't be scraping with like a late goal by Kane or something like that.
It needs to be that performance that we had
convincing.
last year when Sonny scored that brilliant goal, 5-0 win against Burnley at home, put the game to bed early.
Yeah,
and then they can start being a positive feeling around the place.
Exactly, it needs to be a convincing win. We need like Bale to be involved, and we need to play some nice football and attacking football because I think even if we win 1-0 in an unconvincing display, the narrative is still there that we're going to struggle to turn this around, and obviously it'll be good to win, but we need a momentum building win. We can't. I feel.
Why is it that narrative forms with Tottenham when any other side, if they play Burnley and they scrape a 1-0 win, they'll be like, oh, what a hard-fought win for whoever it may be, Liverpool or Chelsea or whoever it may be. They'll be like, oh, what a hard-fought win. But when Spurs win 1-0, they're like, oh, boring football. They can only scrape 1-0 against Burnley. Why does that narrative form?
Because of Mourinho, pretty much. Because people point to that and point to the fact that the perception of Mourinho, and then they point to those kind of performances and say, look, that's Mourinho there. They don't point at our best moments, they only point at our worst moments to represent Mourinho. And that's how I see it a lot. With a lot of it is perception, and a lot of it you have to, in football, the perception versus reality is a very strong thing, and it's very interesting because Eric Dier was talking about that yesterday. I don't know if you saw, he had an interview.
I did see it.
A few quotes.
There was.
He had a few quotes about his confidence or whatever, and he was talking about the perception versus the reality. And sometimes sometimes it's not. They're not the same thing, and you have to fight against it when the reality is one thing and then the perception of it is another, and you can't. And sometimes they're not always correlated, the two. And
I'm not sure what he was saying was true though, because he was talking about how he doesn't feel himself have been on pretty much bad form this season, and he says his bad form has coincided with the team's form, when I think that's completely untrue, because he's the one that's making these massive mistakes. It's got nothing to do with
but
the
you
team
yourself
performance.
said it.
What?
That he's been having a good season apart from a few mistakes.
Yeah, I'm not saying that.
That's what he said.
He's saying that his bad form correlated with the team's bad form. I don't think that's true. I think it's his individual mistakes that's making the team look bad.
No, well, no, he's talking about the team's form dipping and his form dipping at the same time.
But that's not true though, because
it is true.
I don't think so. I think reasons why we're losing games is because of bad individual errors from himself, Davinson Sanchez, and what have you. It's not that the whole team's playing bad. It's that it's these few individual errors. It's not like the whole team has had a dip. It's him making these stupid fuck-ups.
I disagree with that.
Why do you disagree with that?
I've defended the team and said that we've played well in a lot of games. And not always deserved the results we gotten, but in the last 12 games the team has had a dip. We can't run away. That is true.
But what about when
true.
the team hadn't had a dip and he was making mistakes?
When was that?
Against, first of all, Newcastle, gave away that penalty.
Yeah, that wasn't really his fault though.
Where else? I'm sure there's been other games where he's
early
made
in the
mistakes.
season he was having, like, up until that Palace game, he was having a very good season. He was playing well. He made a few early mistakes, like maybe a couple early in the season, but he cut them out. He wasn't making too many. We were playing well. The team were playing well. And the team has had a dip, coincided with his dip. I'm not sure I'm not sure what's wrong about that. He's had a dip of late, and so has the team. Especially, I would say, after that. I
think he needs to take more responsibility for his mistakes.
I'm sure he does. I don't think he said he had a dip. which is taking responsibility for, and it's coincided with the team's dip as well. But he's saying he's being scapegoated, which he's implying that he's being singled out.
That's what I'm saying. I don't agree with that whatsoever.
That I don't agree with. I think he has made some really stupid mistakes, but I think what he said about his form correlating with the team, I think that's true.
But the whole point is what I'm trying to make. Maybe I didn't bring it across properly. The whole point I'm trying to make is that I don't feel he's taking responsibility for the mistake he's making on the pitch with the words he came out with yesterday.
I don't know. I didn't read that. That's not what I read. I mean, I think he said I think he admitted he's had a dip in form, not because of a confidence thing. He just thinks that's what he said, and he said the team's also had a dip in form which has coincided with that, and it's made it look worse. Which I can understand that, and he has to take more responsibility for his mistakes. But I like to see a player with confidence in himself, and I don't want him to be too downhearted by everything that's going on, and because he said he's had low confidence moments before in his career, and he doesn't want to be in that situation. Want to get back to that, and I agree with that. I don't want him to get back to that. I want him to improve and cut out these sloppy errors, which he needs to do. And if he has confidence in himself to do that, then that's fine with me. I'm not gonna bash him for it. But yeah, look, he's done some inexplicable things, completely inexplicable things.
And this is an Eric Dier with confidence, apparently.
Doing
these inexplicable things.
That's what he said.
So that worries me as well.
Yeah.
But look, enough about Eric Dier.
Anyway, we're talking about perception and the reality. That's what is a very important thing in football. So that's why when we talk about 1-0 wins and stuff, like I've seen a lot of other teams. How many times have Man City only won 1-0? But in games where a lot of it, like I remember one game against Brighton not so long ago, they won 1-0 and Brighton were knocking on the door a lot, and they just got past it. But no one's saying it was boring. They just said it was as you say, hard fought win. And I think a lot of the time when Mourinho has a hard fought win, it's because he's boring and defensive. When other teams do it, it's because there was just they won without playing well, and that's it.
Yeah, I think Man City's a bit of a different case because obviously they've won like 15 games in a row. So if we were to win 15 games in a row, nobody could argue with Jose Mourinho and the way he was playing football. So I think, it's a bit of a different case. But look, back on the game, are you actually confident going into this game?
Yeah, I am confident we're going to win. I'm confident we're going to win. I think I know results of late haven't been improved, but I think performances have, and I think we're starting to become more of an offensive team from what I've seen, and we're starting to gain a bit more control in games, and we're being a lot sharper on the ball. I think in a lot of periods, in offensively wise, injuries coming back, Aurier, Reguilon. And I think these are all crucial things. And with Bale and Dele as well, desperate to get back in the team and should be motivated to have a good performance in this game if they're picked. That should breed some confidence in the team. And if we can get a few wins, a run of a few wins together, then that could breed some life into this season, which was wiltering away. So we need to be confident in this game. We have to be. We can't go into this game tepid and unsure of ourselves. We need to be brave. We need to be confident, and we need to take the game to Burnley and be on the front foot.
I don't know how you feel, but I got this kind of strange feeling at the moment where we're on absolutely shocking form. You got to say that. What's it? 2-3 wins in the last...
3 wins in 12, yeah.
In 12. So there you go. We're in shocking form. But I actually feel a kind of positive vibe coming out of the club at the moment, even though we're on such bad form. And I feel that we're literally just around the corner from turning this around. I genuinely believe that. I think the good feelings are coming with the injuries coming back in Aurier and Reguilon, Bale's form coming a bit, Dele Alli as well with that brilliant goal and brilliant performance in the Europa League, albeit in the Europa League. So I feel like we are just around the corner from turning it around, and I feel that if we can have a positive performance and a positive win in this game, then I do feel like that we can go on a bit of a run here with Palace and Fulham just round the corner as well.
I partially agree. I don't think there's a positive feeling at the moment. I don't, but I do agree with you that we're very close to turning it around. Very close. If we can beat Burnley, and if we get 2 wins out of 2 this week, it'll be a completely different complexion on the season. Completely. But on the flip side, we draw one of those games and it's crisis again, and that's what I'm saying. It's very flimsy. Good feeling at the moment. Not flimsy. That's not the word. But yeah, kind of like flimsy. Like it's a weak level of confidence. It's a bit like how we're watching that Man City game and we're playing well in the first 20 minutes, but as soon as we concede, it's over. The confidence will be drained. Same with this. Like, it's great if we beat Burnley and we could even beat Fulham. I'll be fine. But if we don't actually have a run of wins, if we even drop points against Palace in that third game again, then the knives will be out, and so the good feeling can disappear like that. It takes a lot more time for good feelings to come than it does for them to disappear, and we need to keep that good feeling, and we need to get a run of wins together. And with each win, you're hoping it can strive us onto another win. But at the moment, the wins are coming in Europa, and then we can't quite get them in the Premier League. But if we can get the win against Burnley convincingly, then maybe we can start a run.
Yeah, I can see that. And in terms of the game, where do you see us affecting them the most? Where do you see kind of us hurting them the most? I mean, you're obviously going to say down the flanks, surely.
No, I would say actually through the centre is definitely the biggest way. Yeah, for like Ndombele, we need Kane to be absolutely on it, because I feel like if we go to the flanks, if we keep crossing it in the box, they're going to have that for dinner, for breakfast, basically.
Son usually has a good game against Burnley.
Yeah, but we need to be able to play through them. We need to move the ball in such a way that they leave space in the centre. And that's where most of the damage we'll be able to do. Because if we try and attack, we need to attack from the sides. But if we're continually throwing crosses into the box, they're just going to head them away easily. And I feel like we might lack joy in that way. So I know they're going to try and clog up the central areas, but we need our players like Kane and Ndombele. We need Kane to be dropping deeper and affecting the game there. We need players like Ndombele at his strongest, and we need Bale to be coming inside and affecting the game and being that creative player on the right hand side. So we have the players to unlock them, no doubt about it. And we'll also not only unlock them, like we have Kane and Son and Bell, who are all extremely effective from shooting outside the box. So they need to use those skills that they've done throughout their career. I feel like a lot of the times we don't when we're trying to break a team down, we don't go that route enough. When we have players like Kane, Son and Bale, who we know can fire it in from 25 yards if you give them the opportunity. So we need to. That's how we're gonna try and open them up. It's going to be difficult for the first half or whatever. To get that first goal is going to be difficult. But as soon as we get that, it should open the game up a bit.
Yeah, I mean, like you said earlier, the first goal, the early goal is really imperative, because as long as we get this early goal, I'm confident we'll win this game, because obviously the longer it goes on 0-0, the more the nerves start to creep in, the more dreams Burnley start to get, the more confidence they'll get inside the game. But with their injuries as well, Chris Wood, Eric Peters, Del Stevens, Ashley Barnes, we got to be looking to hit them early and getting a goal, because we know you know what you're going to get with Burnley. They're going to come, they're going to set up well, and if we can break those lines within the first 20 minutes and get that goal, they're going to have no choice but to come out and try and get a goal against us, are they?
Yeah, I would say with the forward line, they have Vidra and Rodriguez, who they've played last few games with Wood. If Wood and Barnes are out, that'll be a big plus for us, very big plus, because they're such a big threat. They hold up the ball really well, and these are the kind of players that Dier and Sanchez have been tended to struggle against really badly. Physical players who back into them and they could physically overpower. Rodriguez and Vidra are the kind of players you could bully a bit. You can get physically you can get the best of them, and that could allow us to push up a bit and be a lot more physical. Whereas if they got the ball into Wood and to Barnes, two players who really fight for the ball, they don't give up. They really fight for the second ball as well, and they're a real nuisance. That's two players as well from set pieces as well, big threats from set pieces. That could really hurt us. But if those two strikers could be a bit of a bonus for us. But also Dwight McNeil, he's a good player on the left hand side. We have to watch him. He's their danger man on the wing. And if you give him too much space, he can also hurt you. But as well, with him on the pitch, without Wood and Barnes, he doesn't have those options to swing the ball into, which he would have otherwise. So that's also definitely a benefit for us in that sense. If they're injured, but I know Wood and Barnes are only a doubt; they're not ruled out. So we'll have to see if they'll play or not. Because I know we saw Antonio
Barnes
was
about 25%. It says on injury room.
Last match was
25% chance of playing
for both of them.
No, 50% for Wood and 25% for Barnes.
Okay, so yeah, we'll have to wait and see if they're picked. But if they're both out, it's a big bonus for us.
All right, so it's a massive game. What score prediction are you going for?
I said 3-0 in my
Sticking
Prem
with it.
predictions. I'm going to stick with 3-0. Hopefully he starts Bale. Hopefully he adds a bit of creativity into the team. Aurier's back as well. That could be very positive. I'll very seriously consider starting Dele after the first half of his performance on Thursday, and also given the opposition. But if he starts Lucas or Lamela, I think they're also both in good form as well. So I can't begrudge Mourinho, whoever he chooses to start. It is what it is, because I think some of the attacking players are coming into a bit of form, so I don't want to chastise Mourinho for picking who he wants to pick. But I think Dele's definitely in contention.
Either way, there's lots of games coming up, so whoever doesn't play today is probably going to play Wednesday. Let's say if Lamela plays this week and Dele plays on Wednesday, you know what I mean.
But for sure, I want Bale starting. I want Bale starting. I want after his performance, we need to keep up the momentum. He's looked sharp as ever. He looks confident. He's taking things first time. He's got that bit of zip about him now, so we need to keep that good feeling. And if he can start against Burnley and have another good showing and get a goal or something, then that confidence will start even breeding even more. And then all of a sudden that front line that we have looks ferocious again, and that looks hard to deal with. So we need to win this game. This is a must-win. We've said that many times, but this
next 3 games are all must-wins.
But it is. I agree. But we have to take it one game at a time.
Of course.
And if he doesn't win this game, even if he draws, then
not good enough.
Then the pressure is going to be really, really on him. The only to be honest, the only thing saving him at the moment is the fact that we're still in Europa and we're in the Carabao Cup, so final. That's what's saving him at the moment. And if we can turn around this league form and put us back in contention for top 4 going later into the last few games of the season, if we're still in contention, then there's all to play for. But he needs to get back to that stage. At the moment, yeah, we're lounging around in mid-table, and that's nowhere near good enough for a squad like ours and a team like ours. Whatever the excuses are, that league position is good enough. We can all accept that, but we have to
change very quickly.
We have to allow him the chance to turn it around. People say like, "Oh, he's ninth. If he's so good, why is he ninth? Why is this team above him? Why is that team above him?" It's like, you have to give him the time. You have to give him the chance to turn it around. If he finishes a season in that position, I agree with you. It's not good enough. But no one at the end of the season goes, "It's not good enough because at this stage of the season he was ninth, so he should be sacked, even though he finished in this position." No, you finish in the position you deserve to finish in. So you have to give Jose the time to turn it around, the chance to turn it around. And if he can't turn it around, he has to take responsibility for that. I completely agree.
Yeah.
But we'll see where we are at the end of the season, and hopefully we can still have a good end to the season.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. My brother's going 3-0. I'm going to go 2-0. I said it in the predictor. So, yeah, let me know your scoreline prediction in the comment section below. That is your match preview. Come and join us on Sunday for the live watch-along and the post-match fan show, when it is your chance to have your say on the game. Gold members get priority, and then we try to get everyone else on if there is time. But, yeah, that is your match preview. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts on the upcoming massive game against Burnley at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium at 2 o'clock on Sunday. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.